Welcome everybody to another episode of Inside the Mind. We ended up placing second place this weekend on Sunday finals, NAE FNCS week 2. That's a pretty big achievement as this is the biggest tournament currently running. And we got second place. We were 1 point off first. I could have clutched it. I'm going to show you where those mistakes were, where we could have practiced better, whatever it was. I'm going to take you through my thoughts leading a duo into endgame, as that's what this series, Inside the Mind, is all about. But today, I want to focus on mentality. The only reason Coop and I placed second was because of mentality. All right, our first 2 games went horrible. Our first game right here, we're looking for Storm Surge. Coop's dumbass. And I mean this all with love. You know, a lot of you guys were telling me, yo, Arab, how are you going to call Koopa controller brain dead? That's a joke. We joke about it all the time. But Coop's dumbass forgot to build a wall behind him and gets sniped here. Motherfucker didn't build a wall as we're getting Storm Surge tags. And the team under us is also, you know, everybody's looking for Storm Surge tags in these. They're pretty stacked lobbies, right? Everybody needs to get tags. So they hear us get RPG'd. And then it's like, yo, let's push in, let's get the loot. I gotta get out. You know, there's no, I'm not gonna be able to pick him up. It's just not possible. So I have the grappler. I go to try to solo clutch. I end up dying to Storm Surge, because when your duo dies, their Storm Surge disappears. It doesn't count for you anymore. And I was looking for tags. Yeah, I would have been able to clutch with the grappler if I hadn't died to Storm Surge, but yeah, I did. And I was pretty desperate here, so I had to peek at kids, and I ended up getting sniped while I'm peeking at kids trying to get a tag or something. So it is what it is. You know, when you're desperate, you have to do a little bit riskier plays. And the second game, Coop and I end up getting zone, and we take height. I end up making a mistake, a massive mistake, and I tarped the wrong fucking way, bro. I don't know what happened. My brain farted. I tarped the wrong fucking way, but it was really laggy, and Coop and I also haven't really practiced height. You know, a big thing I want to talk about is that practice how you play, right? Second game, we get gifted height just because of how zone goes. And it's not something we really practice. We don't know how to play height. We play mid ground normally. We place top 5 consistently. Our problem is winning games because our height takes is weak, right? But we're very consistent. I'd say one of the most consistent placing, like placement wise duos, right? We had the second most top 5s in semifinals. We had, I think, as well, second most top 5s in finals. So, you know, here we're just taking height, trying to beam kids out the air. But the lobby is so laggy that Coop can't kill anybody out of the air. We're all getting blanks non-stop. And it's pretty hard to kill people out of the air. So that kind of ruins our whole plan of height, right? Like I said in a previous video, if I take height this early, it's normally not to win. It's to frag out. But all these people are fucking teleporting on the screen. It makes it pretty difficult. But I want to focus on mentality, right? So the first 2 games ended up going bad for us. You'll see here soon. Our first game, we ended up getting 2 points. And this is our second game, and we end up only getting 4 points.
Keep focusing, keep focusing. I give you everything. Get more grip. Okay, I got it. It goes back, Coop. It goes back.
Yep.
Oh, wait. It goes far. Dropping down a little.
Watching there.
Keep an eye.
I know, I'm watching. I got beam, I'm getting shot out. I'd have to fall down, it's too laggy.
Okay.
And that team ends up RPGing Coop out, so they just move up to height. I have to drop down here. You know, I'm a solo. There's no point in staying height. And the lobby is really laggy. At this point, I'm kind of panicking a little bit. I'm solo in the second game. I want to get points. And everyone and their fucking mom wants to kill me for some reason. And it's whatever. You know, I end up clutching out a few points. I get psychoed, and we end up having a bad second game. But here's where mentality comes in, right?
Dude, it's so fucking laggy.
I literally died because of fucking RPG.
Yeah, I mean, I RPG'd them back.
Oh, I see a blue tag. Let's go.
Oh shit.
Alright, you're getting shot this time. I almost died last time.
Actually, you're trolling.
I'm not.
You're that afraid of Sky?
Shoot, I'm afraid of these henchmen.
So that's the third game, right? I left that clip in there because I wanted you guys to see the way we're talking.
Nice, I'm just following these kids.
We're still cracking jokes. We don't have that many points. We're cracking jokes. We're keeping a high mentality. And then here's this rotate where we have to get into zone, but there's two teams next to us. There's one team in front of us. There's one team on our left. There's also a team behind us. And we don't want to fight, right? So notice how I didn't shoot the team that was in front of us. And then there's this team that's in green right here. This guy builds the stairs. That means he's looking for a shot at me. So I build a wall. I let him go. He starts moving, and then I start moving our way in. It's okay to waste mats, right? You want to waste your mats rather than die. And so they're on the layer above us. I see a team right here on this layer. And so I just take a little bit longer path. Run through the cornfield. I end up using a good amount of mats here, right? You can basically get rid of your mats instantly if you're being pressured, whatever it may be. If you have to build your way into zone, it's pretty easy to get rid of your mats. So I start moving up. I tell Coop go up, right? I'm calming for him, how many layers I'm switching, etc. And almost make it in here. Now we're in. And I have like scuffed mats. God bless, we got like a really close zone.
0-0-360, it's so annoying.
And I'm gonna let you guys watch the rest of this game out. See the decisions I make, and I'll calm whatever's important.
Alright, it goes back through this little tarp of
Guys
ours.
below us.
We're gonna need loot soon. I have 400 mats.
Hey, you know what we did in that one end game?
Yeah.
Jump in.
Careful, they're
Bring
breaking
it
our
back.
They got it. Oh, you got it, you got it.
Oh.
This is ours, this is ours. Come here. Okay.
So those guys are out of mats. They're out of mats or something. You know, they're afraid. They're not really building. Their game is scuffed. They need a kill. Remember, in these finals games, there's so many people that are scuffed, right? People are building safer. People are looting less, etc. So there's a lot of people that are scuffed, and so it ends up going back to our old tarp. God bless, because I have like 28 builds or some shit. Maybe 300 builds. Notice how I tank storm there, but it didn't take a hit, right? That's a common thing you can do because it takes a full second for that tick to register. You're able to tank storm for like 0.8 seconds without actually getting hit, I'm pretty sure. So now I'm on only wood. When you start getting to only wood, you need to make sure that you're placing cones and floors, or else this will happen right here. Right? They start shooting us out because we're on a wood cone. Luckily, we're able to catch ourselves, but in these laggy lobbies, that's pretty hard. Notice how I still have a pad. 7 builds, I still have a pad.
Get ready, we got a psycho soon. Move us in, move us in, move us in. You have the mats.
Not up for it, not up for it.
Not there. Move this way, move this way.
You guys done?
Look up.
I look up to try to beam height, and then I was like, nah, it's not worth it. And I see that zone goes that way, so I pad. I short pad it, right? I have 4 builds to my name. I land and I place a cone, because I don't have enough mats to protect any other way. And then I start getting shot at, so I use my last 2 builds. Coop gets to me in time. Boom, Coop gets to me. Splits me mats, and we break into this place. And this is part of knowing your terrain. I made a video on this. Knowing where you are on the map. We don't have mats. I see that there's the pallet there. I know this area. You know, I've landed Frenzy before. I tell Coop, do not psycho them. Everyone is going to be entering this house. Do not fucking psycho. So I got us enough mats to get us to the next step, and then now we can psycho. We're on a good layer. Nobody's pressuring us. We can look for the picks. So we look for the picks on those kids, and we see that they're 1 health. We have no mats. We have to psycho in. And as soon as we psycho in, somebody else ends up psychoing in.
I'm shaking him down!
Stop.
And I kill him. So I end up killing him, and then I grab some mats. I get the mats here, and I have enough shit to clutch out the next placement.
You have one more placement. Get one more. Watch your roof. Still 200.
Alright, Coop's calming my mats for me. I like my mats being calmed almost like every 2 seconds. Something that we gotta work on, you know, more practice, whatever it is. But I still have to move in a little bit, and I only have 140 mats. So I go up, I get that, and I'm not blocking my back. Notice how I'm not blocking my back? Because I need to save every mat I can, because if somebody looks at me right now, I'm gonna have 3 builds worth of time. to react and think of another plan. You get how that works? It's like, how many builds do you have? You need to save some so that you can react. So right here, I have no more builds. I have to make a play. So I just heavy sniped that box. I wasn't able to grab all the mats. I only grabbed the brick. And then I ended up dying, but I clutched out the 5th place. And so now we're back in it, right? Especially in these finals games where there's only 6 games. 2 or 3 games is going to put you at the top of the leaderboard. So that was game 3. We're back in it, right? Great mentality. We're hyping each other the fuck up. Coop and I are always hyping each other the fuck up. We're building that duo chemistry. Yo, you're the fucking best, Arab. Yo, you're the best, Coop. Let's fucking go. Things like that to keep your mentality high, to keep your vibes high. Because when you're tilted, you're not going to play as well as when you're just vibing, dude. When you're vibing, you're hitting your shots. Your chemistry's lit together. So right here, we get a zone down here, and I want to grab this extra loot from a kid I killed earlier. So I start breaking that, looking for the extra loot, trying to find extra mats because our mats aren't that great, and we're in a shitty spot. We're on the dead side of zone here, but this is a bad zone to be on the dead side because we're on low ground and everybody on the other side south is on height, right? They're all on this little hill. So we're going to get focused. And I should have noticed this. This was a bad call by me. I should have gone more north and avoided everybody. But I put myself in the most focusable position in the lobby. And a bad player will tell you, dude, this is so stupid, man. I'm getting griefed every fucking game. The reason I didn't qualify for semifinals, the reason we did bad is because I got griefed. Sick flopper, I know. Saved my life there. The reason we did bad is because we got griefed. Blah, blah. No. That was a bad position. I put us in a bad position. I didn't realize till after. And I paid the price for it. Right here, Coop asked me for the grappler. Coop's much more clutch than me. That's just how his fucking brain works. He's nasty at clutching. He has more health than me. And he has more mats than me. So I give him the grappler so that he can clutch. And at this point, it's kind of like, yo, Coop, play your life. I'm dead. You know, there's no option. There's no other option. I'm dead. Coop ends up solo clutching this. I'll let you listen to the comms. Listen to how I comm for him while he's dead. Or while I'm dead.
It goes back to... No, you can't. That's dumb idea from me.
Right, you want to comm for your duo what they don't see, what you think they don't see, plus their mats to keep reminding them so that they don't have to use their brain.
No mats, Coop? Four mats? Nice, Coop, get it. You have to get that. Go up. Matt, you have 150 mats. Pump your minis.
There we go. Oh, that didn't work, dude.
Pump minis. It's okay. Pump him. Nice, get it. Max, you have 300 metal. Build and pop minis. Okay, you're chilling, Coop. You clutch these. Someone has a heavy next to you. They're gonna heavy snipe into you. Trying to mark for you? Alright, Coop, you just hit a placement. Nice, Coop! No, careful.
Let's go!
Good, Coop! That's good, Coop! That's fucking great!
I got placements there. I just shit him.
You got 2 placements.
And so Coop clutches that out. Notice how I hyped them up right after, right? It's about keeping those vibes high. Hyping each other up is so important. And so now we're on to game 5. The zone is fucked. I don't know where I'm getting boomboed from. I hate that item, by the way. Boombo. If you hold a boombo, you're a piece of shit. Look where zone goes. It's one of those agency zones. One of the worst possible zones in the game, in my opinion, because whoever boxed up on agency from fucking 10 minutes ago has gotten every single zone and is going to get so many kills out of the air. He's going to screw everybody over. We have a launch pad, right? So we're pretty safe here, but I'm predicting a launch pad from the kids above us or the kids near us because none of them have even made a move yet or looked to rotate, right? When you see a zone this fucked with smart players in the lobby, you know they're not just going to swim across the fucking river. they're going to try to recycle a pad. They're going to try to use a pad, or they're going to try to rotate early unless they have a pad. So none of these teams are making movement above us. I think the team above us has a pad, or they're trying to push a pad out of us. And the team under us might also have a pad. So I just start pushing up to this team to stop them from pressuring us. And the team in front of us east here hits a pad.
Pads right here. Pads right here, Coop.
That wasn't luck. That was predicted. I knew they had a pad
Landing on the seat.
because they never even attempted to rotate earlier, right? And so that's why I knew they had a pad. And that's important when predicting things like that, because recycling pads is so important, because we end up using this pad later in the game and it clutches out a 5th place for us.
I'm 4-2-4.
Okay, I don't need anything yet.
So now we need some storm surge tags. I'm looking to try to find something across, but nobody's really peeking, right? Everybody kind of needs storm surge tags here. I think it's 61 players alive. I can't fully see right now, but we need a tag, and this kid is starting to grief our walls. So I just drop down as he's shooting and attack him once. Now we're above storm surge. It's a solo. Ends up being a solo, and he just goes to psycho into our shit. Coop and I agree that we're just gonna pump him when he enters. So ends up psychoing, pump him. He dies and kind of refreshes our mats. That happens also in these stack games. People are, they're gonna die to surge, and if they don't psycho, they're gonna die. So they might as well psycho. So that's a common thing. It's not like that person was a stupid player. His teammate just ended up dying. He was low on storm surge. He was gonna die either way, so he had to do something.
Clear mark.
Okay, 50 brick here. 50 brick here. I'm C4ing a team in front of us.
And I used that C4 on the kid in front of me just so I could grab this RPG. I will say I do suck with RPGs, right? I always end up RPGing myself, or I don't even use the RPG. And I see this free rotate. I don't know, dude. It's just the way my brain works. Everyone's kind of across. No, I just feel like it's gonna be free, and it ends up being free. You know, switching layers. Remember, we've talked about this before. I don't want to drop down into that vault because you can't build there. And then now I'm in zone, so I build us a box, and I claim the wall next to us. And there's a kid on our layer that's gonna pressure us, right? He was shooting at us earlier. I don't want him to pressure us again, so I end up going up one. There's nobody really on this layer whatsoever. And now it's a waiting game to the next zone, right? Who's gonna pad? Who's not gonna pad?
I think we should both pop bigs if it pulls far.
And I come to Coop that we should both pop bigs. It's better to be full health, that way you don't get one pumped by a green pump, by a blue pump, whatever it is, right? And so now I'm looking for somebody that I can recycle their pad. Zone is fully across. We could use our pad, but I want to recycle a pad. And I see this team in that brick cone right there. South, right? They're breaking their cone on the ground, and they're breaking their cone on the roof. That right there is a sign of a team that's padding, right? There's no reason you break your cone and then you place a floor. But here's the catch. A different team pads, so they end up not padding. And I almost grief our game here. And it gets to the point where I'm like, alright, Coop, we're trolling. I have to pad us. So I just pad us. Yeah, we tanked 6 ticks of storm damage, but it's whatever. We bounce back from it, right? So I box myself here, and someone ends up on my box. Kill him. I can't get his loot, right? There's no point in getting his loot. I drop down to Coop. Coop tells me he's got a good layer. So I focus on getting to my duo. Reset the walls behind, that way nobody can enter. And I start leading.
I have 600 mats.
Nice, I'm 300.
Alright, Coop and I play the mid ground and the low ground really well. I'm gonna let you listen to comms here.
Not ours, no.
Go down, go down.
Alright, Coop, look for frags. We're on ultimate low. Here, take some mats, take some mats. Take 100. It goes far, come here. I'm going up.
Zone goes far, and I know that it goes a little bit uphill, so I start moving my way up. This is just like tarps that you kind of practice in creative, and I see this old metal base that'll save us from having to build. I only have 80 mats. Coop drops me a little bit more, and I see this pad that I want to use. Even though there's a lot of congestion, it's easy to short pad here. So we short pad it, and it takes us to a perfect spot in zone.
Spot, Coop. Great spot. 200 mats.
Top 15. 200. We need to go.
Okay, come here. RPG.
Looking for a pick here with Coop because we need a pick soon. We have to psycho a team. We're running out of mats. With Coop, I'm not afraid to fight, kids. He always leads the fight. I support it, and
90 mats.
I don't really question. I don't question what he says when he wants to fight a team. You know, sometimes it's like, yo, Coop, we don't need to fight. We have so many mats. But Coop just goes in here, shits on a kid. I'm out of mats completely.
Wait, it goes to us. It goes to us.
I got the mats. All mats on me. All mats on me.
Okay, I'm coming to you.
Coming. I split. A lot of mats.
And notice how I'm not healing yet. I lead us in a little bit more before I start healing.
That's not ours. Move through.
So I get in, boom, now I can heal. I pop my minis,
Is that an extra pump?
and I pop my med kit. Coop drops me an extra spaz.
Anymore. I have 3 builds. Popping a med.
Running into mats.
I'm popping a med. Okay?
I'm just popping heals. I could be looking for a pick. I'm not gonna lie, I hate fighting.
Give me a second.
A lot of mats.
I'm on light. Alright, lead it. I have no mats.
Give me
Okay.
mats. Give me mats. I gotta heal.
So Coop drops me the mats, he heals, and then I start getting focused here. So I drop down, and I made the mistake. I didn't realize he dropped down with me, and I kind of run my own way into Storm instead of running with him, and that was on me. You know, I split from him, but we end up getting a top 5.
Let's go.
Coop, good shit! Let's go!
Look how we're hyping each other up.
Light me up.
Baby!
4th place again, dude.
Coop, great fucking shit, dude. Great fucking shit, Coop.
That's so many impacts.
Right, like I'm saying, bro, that mentality is so important, okay? Now, Game 6 is a little bit different. We get contested off spawn. Macwood and Zexro aren't doing too hot. Zexro's afraid this is the worst he's placed ever in a tournament. He tweeted that, by the way. You know, it's not just me talking on my ass. And they're pretty desperate. They need to find a new drop spot, something OP, like the Shark, right? And we end up shitting on Macwood here. Fucking Coop's a god, shits on his life, and then we just psycho into him while Zexro's on the other side. And so we kill him. Zexro tries to 1v2 for a second.
Let me grab this green pump.
I'm 1 HP.
Remember, he has the card, he has the grappler, and he has the scar. We have none of that.
Medkit, take the mini.
All we have is a scuff drop, no extra shield, and like no mats.
Here. Here.
Come here, we can go down here.
So Coop has literally like 5 HP. I know the Shark well, so I break down that floor knowing it'll take me here, and I get a different angle on Zexro. Pump him for 46 out the air there. You know, when you hit somebody that hard, they're starting to panic a little bit more, right? He's probably at 104 health. He knows he could die to one shot.
Going up.
But he's still trying to 1v2. He probably thinks Coop is really low.
Careful. I have no mats.
He's looking for a pick on Coop. He's missing his shots, and then he realizes here, yo, I just gotta get the fuck out. I got a grappler. If I'm gonna solo clutch anything, it's gonna be with the grappler. So he just leaves.
He's at pool.
We call him a pussy. You know, standard shit
3
talk.
builds.
Oh, he's swinging across. 22 crack.
What a loser.
Fucking pussy, dude. Fucking dog shit players.
Alright, we
dude.
play without the grappler.
We don't have the fucking event though, dude.
That's fine.
Thanks for the free
Get
50,
off me.
Macwood.
And then Coop says, yo, we don't have the vault. And I go, yo, Coop, that's fine. We don't need the vault. If you've noticed from any of our past games that you've watched so far right now, we don't use the grappler to fucking psycho height, to get ahead of zone, whatever it is. I use the grappler in mid-game so that I can get on mountains in front of Coop. That way nobody can grief us mid-game, right? I don't really use the grappler end-game. It's just in case of solo clutches, and it's just in case of people griefing us mid-game, so I claim the height, right? I don't abuse the grappler like a team like Avier has the Great does, where they psycho height, whatever. Because our mid-ground game is so good that it just doesn't make sense to not abuse my dog on a leash, which is Coop. He's just so good at fighting kids.
Sure.
I'm gonna pause here.
I know we can go.
I'm gonna replay that.
Break that, make it ours.
Oh, no,
Coop tells me, yo, Arab, be
Dude,
ready. If I make a
Be
play,
ready.
you have
I
to
call
trust
I'm the
me.
heavy sign someone in.
And I go, Coop,
Yeah,
I trust you.
Okay?
yeah.
Just trust me.
I trust the fuck out of you. I trust Coop when he needs to make a play, and so I'm not
I
worried
trust you,
about
bro. I
that.
trust you on
So
the
I'm
plays.
gonna hit play again,
And we're fucking good. Let's
and
go, baby. I'm gonna get one out
So
stop.
we can
Keep
farm
going.
it. Slurp, 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 slurp. Come here.
Gone. Wait, come here, come here, come here.
Hey, I'm
So
here.
Coop sees a play, he goes, come here. So I come here, right? I fully trust him. I know when he has a good play. He knows he has a good play. So we go on 1v2 Zay and Saf here. Refresh our whole fucking game. Now we're back in it, right? Like I told you guys, we come out of the Shark scuffed. We don't need all that shit. We end up killing a team and we get our loot back. We have God loot now. It's nothing mythic, right? But it's God loot. We have a pad.
It's too laggy.
We have max mats.
Holy shit. Let's go. Let's go, Arab.
Fucking shit,
Come
Coop, you're
on.
nasty. Don't say Arab, that was you.
No, I'm just hyped, dude. Come on. Yeah, fuck you. I'm kidding, Jay. I love you. Sorry, dude. Tarzan.
I have a pad, I got a pad out of that.
Nice. I'm max everything.
So right here, I'm just building out a tunnel closer to us so that we can launch pad a little bit later into zone.
Use an extra mat.
I think I end up spending a little bit too much time building this tunnel.
Come back to grab. We're gonna pad from there. Where are the extra mats?
So I grab the extra mats and I realize I can't take the full tunnel. So I tell Coop, yo, we're padding right here. And I pad and I notice that zone goes up this mountain, right? Look how I got hit in the air. I don't stop to mini. Positioning is so important right here. Getting up the mountain before other teams do, it is what's going to save your life. All these teams are going to be fragging out on low ground on each other because they took too long to get up the mountain. So I haven't popped any shield yet, right? I'm still focused on this tarp. Position, 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 position. Because it's a hectic tarp and we're going up like 10 levels, I don't want Coop in the back fragging out. I want Coop on me, holding my fucking cock and just following me, right? And he does. So he ends up doing that. Drops me mats in his box. I start healing here, waiting for the next zone. We don't need a frag yet. We still have so many mats. If we don't end up getting zone, we have enough mats to make it to the next spot. But we do. We do get zone. Remember, we started this tarp with 3,000 mats because Coop killed those two kids. So I take us back through our old tarp. I remember how our old tarp was. And I take us back through most of it. I don't know, just like memory. I just remembered how our old tarp was. And I go above us and I go, we actually don't need anything. This is our last game. If we get a lot of placement, we end up winning this tournament. Right? Like the leaderboard's so close at this point. We're in 3rd place. If we do really well this game, we could get 1st. So I'm just playing my life. You know, like I said at the beginning of the video, I suck at using RPGs. It's something I gotta work on, right? Just because we got 2nd doesn't mean I'm the best player in the fucking world. Doesn't mean my brain is massive. Yeah, just as big as my cock. But listen, I have this problem where I forget to use RPG because I'm so focused on placement and I don't really focus on kills. And Coop just kind of focuses purely on kills, right? While I can focus on that placement. And so over here, I probably could have looked down, started RPGing kids, griefing them, but I made the mistake of not.
They're gonna look for us.
Is that a cone?
It's our corner, yeah.
So I get us into a good spot in zone. I have 8 seconds till the next zone, and I just pop a med kit. Coop's looking for frags. I might have been able to look for frags here too. And I probably should have been. But now I just tarp us a little bit further. And I get RPG down. I'm out of mats. Coop's out of mats. I have to clutch, right? I have to clutch because a shit ton of money depends on it, and so does 1st place. There's no option. Sometimes when there's no option, you just have to. You have to clutch. So this guy starts breaking in. He dies to somebody else. Thank God. I grab the mats. And right here, I come up with the plates and med kit. Right? I'm almost at 5th place. There's not that many people alive left. So I med kit just to avoid. And I start celebrating. And looking at this right here, it makes me sad every time. It's like, I pumped that kid. If I knew I had an RPG, I would have killed them both and we would have won the tournament, right? Here's the leaderboard. If I pumped him, if I RPG'd and then I pumped him, they would have both died. It's not hindsight. That's just what should have happened. I had no idea I had an RPG. I think that's due to a lack of practice, right? Coop and I have only been playing for 3 days together. And we practice maybe like 5 hours a day instead of 8 to 10 hours a day. Where we could have fixed our comms, right? When you're dead, your duo needs to be looking for those plays that you're not realizing, right? By the time he's been dead for 30 seconds, he should be calming for me, and I'm not blaming him for it, by the way. Like, don't think that. But because I didn't realize either. But when you're solo and you're trying to clutch, like I said at the beginning of this video when Coop was clutching, you as the duo need to calm for him what he's not seeing, right? So after 30 seconds of me being solo, not using my RPG, if you're the duo, you need to be calming my mats, you need to be calming the options that I have, right? The, yo, you have an RPG, Arab, you can look for a play with that. And I could have tanked Storm on that and ended up RPGing them, right? Because you have 10 seconds where you can tank Storm when you're max health. And gotten those 2 kills, and it would have won us the tournament, but it is what it is. We got 2nd place. That's inside my mind. There were things we could have fixed, but it felt good. It felt good, man. It felt good proving everybody wrong, right? There's only a few people that believe in me. And a lot of people in the pro scene are just like, yo, Arab's dog shit, but there it is, man. I proved how big my fucking brain is. You know, how come other people are allowed to say it like these other IGLs are allowed to say their brain is massive, but Arab isn't, right? Because Arab's always laughed at. Arab's this dog shit content creator. Gets carried in every mode. But thank you guys for watching. You know, I do stream these live on Twitch. That was all live on Twitch. Twitch.tv/Arab. If you guys are buying Fortnite skins, code Arab in the item shop supports me. You know, there's not too many people that use it, and you know, if you feel like I'm your favorite creator, feel free to use that bitch. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for supporting me. If you guys want to keep up with me, it's all on Twitter, baby. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in a few days. Thank you for watching. Peace.
People talk about, oh, there's not a lot of money in FNCS right now. It doesn't matter unless you qualify. It does matter. This is intense. We have people like Arab and Coop trying to make a stand, trying to say, I'm a player worth looking out for. I need to be respected for this.
Holy shit,
we had a whole
Arab.
bunch of people coming up today. Like, it doesn't matter about the money or even qualifying at this point. There's hype in it. They want to win it. You talked about NA West being a family. There's enough family beef in NA East. Few of these guys want to come out on top just
Go
for
to
their
the
own
tweet,
record,
baby.
you know?
I mean, there's old players who want to become new. There's new players that want to be known as the best and that don't have a track record just yet. And this is the first competition in a while. It's duos. There's a little bit of team too. A lot of repetition in line, and then at the same time, different stories
Holy
switching
shit.
I don't give
time
a
after
fuck
time.
about the money,
Rivalries
bro.
being
We got
formed.
2nd place.